Hi, this is Andy XL back with another NFXL podcast. Again, 2026 NFL draft related. This is going to look at the edge class for a December update. So that's people who play defensive end or outside linebacker. So 2026 looks like it could be another draft full of talent in this area. And here in the top 20 or 21 candidates at the end of the 2025 college regular season and what round they could be taken in next spring. At this time, there are three or even four top 10 overall pick candidates, three more mid to low end round one guys, five in round two and four in each of rounds three and four. And as I say, that's 21 strong edge candidates in this class for teams to drool over pre-draft. I'm struggling not to drool now. Right, quick coffee, and then we're going to it. Round one, Ruben Bain, the junior at Miami, with 37 tackles, 4.5 sacks, an interception, and a forced fumble. Bain has three strong seasons of performance on his resume now, and that will surely get him a very early pick in round one of the draft. So he's even been touted as first overall, and he looks like an incredibly talented individual. So at two is Keldrick Falk, the junior at Auburn. He's had 29 tackles and a brace of sacks this season and a fumble recovery. So he's backed up on his previous good form with another strong season, and he still sits at age two on my class. David Bailey is at three, the senior out of Texas Tech, with 43 tackles and an impressive 13.5 sacks. Um, he's had a great season. Bailey is challenging Falk and is now in contention for a top overall 10 overall pick and moves up three spots from my October update. At four is TJ Parker, the junior out of Clemson. 37 tackles and five sacks make it a more than decent 2025 for him too. That should at least land him in the middle of round one of the draft. So he's another really strong candidate. The fifth round one guy is Cassius Howe, senior out of Texas A&M. Well, he has done. I said in my earlier piece, if he got his sack numbers up in his senior year, he will improve his chances of a high selection. Well, he's done more than that with 29 tackles and 11.5 sacks, and has put himself into first round contention by moving three places up my list um, from eight. So he's now number five on my list. So at six is Matayo Ugalele. Not easy to say. I probably got it wrong. Junior out of Oregon. 28 tackles and five sacks show he's in line for a mid to late round one pick. If demand is there, as he has actually dropped two spots since October due to the rise of Bailey and Howell in particular. The seventh guy I've got on my list at the moment is LT Overton, a senior out of Alabama. Had a fine season for Bama with 35 tackles and four sacks. With an array of talent in this class, that may not even get him into round one unless there is plenty of demand. But I've still got him as a tail end round one guy right now. Moving into round two, and the eighth edge guy up is R. Mason Thomas, senior at Oklahoma. 23 tackles and 6.5 sacks, and has backed up his strong 2024 in an that makes him a possible second rounder, and is another to jump three places up from October. And he's now up to eight, and he's really close to Overton for the seventh spot. At nine is Romello Height, a senior at Texas Tech, an impressive 33 tackles and nine sacks this season. So after getting into my list in October, he's now up to number nine in my age rankings and may even have a chance of round one recognition. At 10 is Gabe Yakas, a senior at Illinois. 43 tackles and 11 sacks make it an excellent 2025, but his tackle numbers are down on 2024, which cost him one spot in my list. In At 11 on my age list right now is Joshua Josephs, a senior at Tennessee, I should say. Josephs is indeed on the rise, up two spots in October and a further two now to crack the top 10 in this class with with plenty of tackles and sacks in 2025. So I said he could be on the rise in my earlier update, and he certainly is. So he's on the move upwards. Joshua Josephs, name to remember. At 12 is Zion Young, the senior out of Missouri. Young has jumped six spots and from round four into round two since October. 38 tackles and 6.5 sacks give him plenty of reason to explain his continued rise. And at 13 is Danny Dennis Sutton, 38 tackles and 6.5 sacks, make it a fine season for DDS and keep him in the second round conversation, despite dropping 6 spots in what is, like I say, an excellent class. He hasn't really done anything wrong. It's just that the others have done so well. Into round 3, Derek Moore at 14. Moore was not even in my October list, but has recorded 30 tackles and an impressive 10 sacks for the Wolverines in 2025. 8.5 of those coming in his last 8 games. That has vaulted him into round 3 territory into number 14 in my edge rankings. At 15 is Akeem Mesidor, senior in Miami. Mesidor does not lack experience after a 6-year college career, the first 2 at West Virginia and 4 more years at Miami. That may mean he has less upside than others in this class, but 191 tackles and 47 sacks in 61 college games, including 46 tackles and 7 sacks this season, have got Mesidor into borderline round 3, round 4 considerations and to number 15 on my list. At 16 is Mikhail Kamara, a senior at Indiana. Just 26 tackles and a solitary sack has seen others move above him and make him into borderline day 2, day 3 right now, so he's dropped down the list. 17 is Anthony Lucas, senior at USC. 13 tackles and a couple of sacks get Lucas into borderline round 3, round 4 territory, and into my list at number 16 in October. That's where he was, and that is where he drops 1 place in this update, having finished the season with 37 tackles and 3 sacks. Let's have a look at the round 4 possibles now. 18, Tyreek Sapp, the senior at Florida. He's dropped 8 spots in this update, 34 tackles and a single sack, and numbers that are seeing him slide into round 4 right now. At 19, Suntarine Perkins, the junior at Ole Miss, has dropped down 9 spots and into round 4 territory. Is what is into round 3 territory in October, and he slid another 10 spots into round 4 here. But he does have 64 tackles and 2 sacks this season. The drop in sack stats from last season's 10.5 have hurt his draft stock badly, though. At 20 is Kenyatta Jackson, the senior at Ohio State. 27 tackles and 6.5 sacks mean Jackson is another one dropping into day 3. So he's got 6.5 sacks and he's dropping into day 3. It tells you how strong this class is. And finally at 21, Anto Saka Jr. at Northwestern. Just 13 tackles and 3 sacks are costing Saka a potential day 2 pick. And just one other that was in the original list, but he's out now, is Quincy Rhodes, the junior at Arkansas. Well, he's announced he will return for his senior year with the Razorbacks, but does so off the back of a 44 tackle and 9 sack season. So we will certainly be hoping that in next year's draft, he's a leading edge candidate. So that's the update at edge. Whip through those as quickly as possible because I like to keep these quick and brief. So that should give you an idea of how many candidates there are, how strong a class this is, because it really is strong. And again, where I think each player could be set to go at the moment, but that's got plenty of time to change yet as we build up to the draft. So the next piece I'll do regarding this will be about inside linebackers and safeties. They're the next positions I'll cover. So that will come out in the next day or two. See you soon.